A win is a win is a win, and the Indiana Fever without CaitlinClark go up against the Las Vegas Aces and last year's MVP, A'ja Wilson, and walk away with a W, 80-70. Sophie Cunningham has been hot to trot. Sophie Cunningham has been on fire.
What happens if A'ja Wilson's Las Vegas Aces are defeated by the Indiana Fever despite losing their best player? The response will fundamentally alter your perception of this group. Her teammates took care of business on the court as CaitlinClark sat on the bench out due to an injury, but continued to grow angry with the referees. When it counted most, Kelsey Mitchell lost 21 points. Additionally, Sophie Cunningham just emerged as the league's most attractive player. This was more than just a victory, literally. Everyone in the league was shocked by the statement. How did the Fever achieve this resounding triumph? Then, what action did Sophie take in this game that resulted in her having to replay it? If you're fired up, leave a comment and redo Sophie.
Come on.
Back in the W chat.
Oh, that was a gut check win right there. Oh, nuts in the chat.
Yes, Natasha Howard!
That's right.
That was a fun one. My gosh, and these jerseys are swag.
Imagine this. Your best player is sitting on the bench in street clothes due to a groin ailment after your club just lost back-to-back games to the Liberty. On July 24th, the Indiana Fever found themselves making their way back into Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Those two consecutive defeats sat heavy in the air. The same question was being asked by everyone. In the absence of CaitlinClark, who is the Fever?
Obviously, there's no timeline for Caitlin, but what has she been able to do this last week? Is it mostly just rehab recovery, or has she been able to do any kinds of practice?
Yeah, no, I mean, we haven't really practiced since the couple days before All-Star break. So mostly rehab, shooting, and she's been with our athletic training team, and we've been preparing everybody else.
The Fever's record of 12 victories and 12 losses only partially reflected the situation. Their playoff prospects were no longer the only thing that critics questioned. All season long, they were penning obituaries. It was cruel on social media. They were portrayed on sports talk shows as imposters who became revealed as soon as their amazing stardom faded. The story was straightforward and heartbreaking. If you take away Clark, nothing unique remains. With each day that went by, the pressure increased. There was playoff seeding up for grabs. Now every game counted. A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces, the reigning champions who were adept at seeing blood in the water, stood in their way. The Aces entered Indianapolis with a record of 12 wins and 11 losses, but they exuded the poise of seasoned winners.
Steph, Caitlin presents a challenge in itself for any opponent, but when she doesn't play, how is your team different?
I think our ball moves differently. What we run is different. She has such gravity and her ability, not just to be the top of the scouting report, but her ability to make everybody better with the ball in her hands. So some of the things that we run are different when she's on the floor than when she's not. We run some more off-ball stuff, a lot less on-ball action.
No one was more affected by this event than Coach Stephanie White. She was aware that the identity of her team will be completely defined by this game. Were they merely another team that required their star player to have any chance of winning, or were they genuine contenders capable of competing with top teams? When Dow was beginning to enter into everyone's thoughts, White needed to find the perfect words to use when speaking to her players.
Yeah, it's definitely a relief to know that there's nothing else going on and no more damage. Now it's just being patient with the process. You can't have 5-minute lapses against great teams. They make you pay and they bury you in those moments. I think we've seen throughout the course of the season, where we've been really good for long stretches and where we've weathered the ups and downs of a game, and we've got to be able to do that from a neutral mindset. We can't get into the playing conservative.
The Aces entered with assurance, perhaps even arrogance. During warm-ups, you could see it in their body language. At the time of Clark's injury, A'ja Wilson and her Olympic colleagues most likely marked this game on their calendar. This was their fantastic chance to confirm what many had long suspected, that the Fever were just a one-woman show masquerading as a basketball team. Over the previous 2 seasons, Wilson had been battling her own jealousy issues with Clark. She now had the opportunity to prove to everyone who the true MVP was. This was perhaps the Aces' statement game, their opportunity to show the league that titles are more important than publicity. However, this is where the narrative takes a surprising turn that nobody anticipated. Having everyone on the squad count them out entirely is sometimes the nicest thing that can happen to them. The Fever utilized each and every uncertainty as fuel. They turned their worst shortcoming into their greatest asset. The WNBA as a whole was shocked by what transpired next, which made it clear that this team was far from done. When all went well, the Fever were going to demonstrate that champions aren't created. When everything goes wrong, they are formed.
Let's go!
Okay, we answered runs today, y'all. We had one another's back today, y'all. In the moments where it seemed like they could have made a little bit of a comeback, we stopped that. Yeah, we sure did. Now we have to be able to continue to stack that, maintain that consistency right there. I'm so proud of you guys. So proud of you guys. That was a hard-fought win. You earned it. We got all three. 1, 2, 3. Together.
Sometimes the quietest member of your team steps up to be the hero your team needs. Additionally, Kelsey Mitchell was prepared for her turn. For her, Mitchell had been receiving heat throughout the season, that uneven performance. She vanished when the Fever needed to be scored the most, according to critics. Their ideas were also supported by the data. When it mattered most, Mitchell would shoot 3 for 15 the following game after going off for 20 points the night before. At the beginning of this match versus the Aces, those doubts appeared to be entirely valid. Mitchell appeared completely out of rhythm and missed her first several attempts. With each failed attempt, you could see the frustration mounting on her face. At Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the audience began to become agitated. They sensed that without Clark's playmaking brilliance, the Fever's offense would collapse. Mitchell experienced the weight of each and every miss. With every shot that refused to go through, the strain continued to rise. Fall. After 3 quarters, her field goal percentage was 4 of 19. Players that have those kinds of numbers are benched during pivotal games. Coach Stephanie White, however, had an alternative strategy. During a timeout, White drew Mitchell away and gave him the message that would make all the difference. Let it go. It will go, White informed her star guard. Those straightforward comments struck Mitchell just at the right place. Listen to them. Mitchell was also reminded by White to maintain his equilibrium when attacking the rim in order to make better reads and choices. In ways that don't always appear in the box score, Mitchell's teammates began to support her. They gave her the ball in more advantageous locations. To persuade her to open up, they set harsher screens. They gave Mitchell the room she required to discover her rhythm and
Austin, handoff, Cunningham. Cunningham too strong. Mitchell able to save the day. And it's Mitchell going right to the rim. Beats the shot clock and lays it in. Mitchell to the rescue.
Sessions very disruptive, causing all kinds of havoc. Late shot clock situations. And then
in the second half, something suddenly clicked. From all across the court, Mitchell began to hit shots. Her quickness started to pose a serious threat to the A's defense. She was finishing through contact while driving hard to the basket. When she pulled up for mid-range jumpers, she only saw net.
Colson thought about the 3. Cunningham feed inside. Boston spinning, turning, ducking, finding Mitchell, who splashes home a 3.
When the game was on the line, Mitchell's personal performance took center stage in the fourth quarter. In those last 12 minutes, she scored 9 important points. When it counted most, she made 4 of 5 field goals. Mitchell tied for the team leading mark with 4 assists as well. She was taking over the scoring load and creating plays for her teammates.
Really fun. Couple of former teammates. Played 2 years together.
clear out. Take it.
Mitchell sizing up Lloyd. She will launch and bury a 3.
Get out of the way. Mitchell pulling the trigger from deep. Fever up 9.
With 21 points in the end, Mitchell silenced all of the detractors who doubted her capacity to guide the squad in crucial situations. She illustrated the mental fortitude she discussed following their defeat by the Liberty. Her performance demonstrated that the Fever had a number of players who could step in and take over games when necessary. This went beyond simply swapping out Clark's manufacturing. The goal was for Mitchell to become the leader that this team has always required.
Got two really good offensive coaches over there on the sideline.
Mitchell finds a cutting Boston, who lays it in. From Mitchell here on this one.
So you don't want anybody to cut across the front of your face, but it's just a really good delivery.
Sophie Cunningham subtly emerged as the league's most dangerous shooter, while everyone was preoccupied with who would take Clark's place at the top of the scoring charts. She was on a blistering hot streak going into this matchup with the Aces, having reached double figures in 6 games in a row. It was becoming impossible to ignore the numbers. Cunningham was making 3.0 three-pointers per game and averaging 13.7 points and 4.7 rebounds per game.
Offense was not the issue for Indiana on Tuesday. They put up 84 points despite the absence of CaitlinClark. Cunningham hit 5 threes, and it's her first tonight. Stay with Indiana.
So Sophie Cunningham doing a really good job of reading the stagger. You have options off that, and she's reading the...
Whether she could continue to shoot well was not the question. Cunningham's ability to knock down shots was well known. The true test was whether she could keep up this amazing pace when facing top opponents like A'ja Wilson's championship team. There was a change in the pressure. Teams began creating game plans especially for her explosive shooting. The figures were nearly too good to be true. During her final 6 games, Cunningham's three-point shooting percentage was 58.1%. She was the most attractive shooter in the whole WNBA in July thanks to her percent. Nor were they garbage time threes. When her team needed it most, she was making clutch shots.
Playing for Sophie Cunningham to start again tonight, or what's your...
Yes.
What is it about her, I guess, at the start of a game that you like having her in the lineup?
Another ball handler, another player who can create shots for her teammates, as well as stretch the floor. A really good defensive rebounder. As well. We had at times really struggled from a defensive rebounding standpoint, so like that as well, and her energy.
When the lights were brightest, Cunningham took the court against the Aces. 3 out of 4 attempts from outside the arc were thwarted by her. Her 15 points were more than just a statistic. The Aces were prevented from launching a significant comeback attempt by the precisely timed daggers. Whenever Las Vegas began to get traction, Cunningham would drain 3 more to dash their dreams.
This run continues, but Cunningham able to put an end to it.
Cunningham's shooting isn't the only thing that sets her apart. When needed, she provides leadership, defense, and rebounding. She was transferred by Coach Stephanie White into the starting lineup especially to take advantage of her enthusiasm and adaptability. Cunningham's ability to spread the floor, grab defensive rebounds, and assist offensively was commended by White. She named another ball handler and shot maker, Cunningham. She is currently the frontrunner for 6th Player of the Year, according to basketball analysts. Who else even comes close, really? Because of her ability to shoot clutches, one analyst referred to her as an absolute assassin. She is a serious contender for the award because of her steady scoring and influence off the bench.
So you had Melissa Smith on you. I would just clear it out if you're Mitchell. Just tell everybody, go to the other side of the floor.
Cunningham straight away delivers with a 3.
Or that.
With Cunningham's transition from role player to serious weapon, the Fever now have a scoring danger that no one anticipated. After being a praise, she turned into one of the league's most feared shooters. Some followers are even claiming that anyone who doubts Sophie Cunningham's ability should apologize to her. Her clutch gene and consistency have made her the ideal addition to this team's championship hopes. CaitlinClark will be joining a team that includes another established scorer who can change the dynamic of the game when she returns from injury. Cunningham has demonstrated that she belongs on the biggest platform in basketball. Ari McDonald came up with a shot that would characterize this entire victory with 35 seconds remaining and the game on the line. Everyone understood that the Fever couldn't afford to lose against a championship team like Las Vegas, even though they were holding on to a 5-point advantage. The entire 4th quarter, the Aces had been eroding Indiana's lead. If Las Vegas got a stop and made their shots, they still had time to steal this game.
Vegas has done a nice job coming on the road, keeping Indiana Fever in check offensively, and Sophie Cunningham, you cannot lose her.
And with A'ja Wilson's side frantically attempting to make one last push for their playoff lives, McDonald caught the ball at the top of the arc. McDonald was under a lot of pressure at the time. Give the two-time champions a chance to finish their comeback if you miss the shot. Make it and totally dash their dreams. McDonald didn't even pause for a moment. She got to her feet with the assurance of a player who was supposed to be there. The three-pointer from the step back was unafraid. McDonald knew exactly what that shot would signify for her team's season when she took it. Like it was always supposed to go in, the three-pointer flew through the net. The shot destroyed the A's morale entirely and increased the lead. The audience at Gainbridge Fieldhouse went into a frenzy. They were aware that they had just seen something unique. In this game, McDonald made 3 of his 3 three-point attempts. She had 9 points for assists and 2 steals in 22 minutes, which was an excellent performance overall. However, she only made that crucial 3 in the fourth quarter. Discuss how to make a difference when it counts most. The game's foundation was laid by Natasha Howard's overpowering 18 points and 13 rebounds. Howard took control on both ends of the court and made 3 steals. She discussed how their offensive is launched by defense. Our offense is fueled by our defense. After the game, Howard remarked, "When defense is going, our offense is going." However, McDonald's shot was the ideal way to cap off Howard's outstanding effort.
Vegas got a lock in right here. One-on-one.
Donald pulls up and hits a 3. But Lloyd got open on the other end.
In jubilation, CaitlinClark even leaped off the bench. Despite wearing street clothes and having a groin injury, her competitive fire was still burning bright. Clark played the entire game with complete focus. Immediately following McDonald's clutch shot, she was bouncing up and down. Clark's excitement and happiness were evident as her teammates succeeded without her. In addition to securing the victory, McDonald's game-winning three-pointer also won the season series tiebreaker that might decide playoff seats. The Fever's record versus Las Vegas is at 2-1. That tiebreaker edge might come in very handy when it comes to determining playoff positioning. This win wasn't your typical season triumph. It was a declaration of what this group is capable of. This victory wasn't the only one. The Indiana Fever were announcing that they are prepared for championship runs in 2025 and beyond. Cunningham's shooting, Mitchell's leadership, and this team's defensive philosophy have all combined to produce something unique that transcends all players. They are currently in 6th position in the WNBA rankings with a 13-12 win, 12-loss record. More significantly, they defeated Las Vegas in the season series tiebreaker, which may be crucial for playoff tickets. CaitlinClark will join a squad that has recently demonstrated that they are capable of defeating anybody, anywhere, at any time when she returns healthy. In Indiana, the future appears to be very promising. Red hot comment. If you're fired up, Sophie, turn on all notifications, like, and subscribe to ensure you don't miss anything. After you click the video on the screen, we'll meet you in the following.
Well, first of all, I started off with our defense. Our defense to get our offense going, and that's how we maintain games like that. We don't rely on our offense a lot. We rely on our defense to get when our defense is going, our offense is going. So we limited the Vegas to 1 shot, and that's how we got open shots for the shooters inside the paint and everything.